Hey, are you a business owner, entrepreneur, or professional? If so, we want you to apply to be a featured guest on our show. My name is Adam Torres, and I host the Mission Matters series of podcasts. I've recorded over 3,000 episodes, and we are just getting started. How do you know if you'd be a good guest to be on the show? Well, only one way to find out, and that's to apply, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We want guests that have a story to tell, guests with a brand, a product, or a service that can benefit my audience of listeners. If this sounds like you, go to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. I'd love to talk to you and get to know more about your story. Again, head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, now let's get into the show. Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Dr. Priyanka Mathur on the line, and she's the founder and CEO over at MediPocket. Priyanka, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Adam. Happy being here.
All right, so I'm excited to get into today's topic. So we'll talk about a MediPocket and really your mission to create a well-care system. And I think the obvious place to start on this one is why is it called MediPocket?
That's a very close to the mission that what we're trying to do with MediPocket is, and a little background before I say why MediPocket is about me. I'm a trained physician who was born in India. I went to Russia to do my medical studies, went back to India, worked there, and then came to the United States and work here. That gave me an opportunity to work inside the healthcare system of 3 countries, and also it gave me an opportunity, unfortunately, to see the broken side of every system, or I would say the dark side in every system. And unfortunately to say, every healthcare system in every country is broken in one way or the other, which became very obvious with this current pandemic also. And every country is struggling in its own way, like United States being very expensive and fragmented, India, difficult access to the right care. Russia has its own struggle. So during my years of practice, I always saw like the patients coming into the healthcare system, overwhelmed, lost, and very anxious and nervous at the same time. And the reason behind that is they just don't know what's going on. They're completely lost in the system. And the reason behind that is I've wanted to create something on a very ground zero level, which I call a primary care level, where most of the interactions on the day-to-day basis happen, and make a platform where patients can get involved on their choice and on their time. And that is the reason we call it MediPocket. It's your health in your pocket.
Got it. And so as we go through your journey, and I love when companies are started like this. So the founder is, they see a problem, which obviously is being a doctor and working in multiple countries and multiple systems. You saw a systemic-wide product or problem or opportunity, right, to improve something. And so now you took that next step. So meaning a lot of people have ideas and it's hard to get them off the ground. It's hard to take that next step. Now, I may be stereotyping a little bit, but I would argue that, some like really like highly specialized fields, like if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, other types of like very specialized fields, they don't normally, like the practitioners don't always go that entrepreneurial route. So like if I'm looking at this from, above, I'm saying, okay, now you have a very technical platform. So you're talking AI, you're talking machine learning, you're talking a lot of other things how did you go from being a doctor to being a doctor and an entrepreneur in the tech space? Because that's not an easy jump.
It is not. And so well said that it is. It's very interesting and surprising to a lot of people. The reason is it's not just being entrepreneur, it's being a technical entrepreneur, which a medical person are very on a different ends of the horizon.
And I said I don't want to stereotype. I'm just saying that, when you're going to medical school, I don't think that you have time to do a lot of other technical, as a hobby, so to speak. Go ahead, please.
No, that's very interesting. Where I want to put that don't get scared if you are not technical. You can still do it. It's all about it's all about searching for the answers, as I say. Artificial intelligence and machine learning, to be honest, to me, those words only mean the movie, which is the Transformer movies, the sci-fi movies. That was my understanding of artificial intelligence and machine learning. But when this idea of MediPocket came, and I wanted to create this platform, which is very simplified on surface, but very sophisticated on the back end. And looking around, I have seen this advancement in other industries, the e-commerce, the fintech industries, and all these industries using this technology, which they call artificial intelligence, and really making it a very efficient and accelerating the growth in the industry, serving the people better in their ways. I was like, when this technology can help in those industries, why not healthcare? Now, that being said, the artificial intelligence and advancement like this are being adopted in healthcare industry, but on a very higher level. When I say higher levels, it's disease detection, which is important, but it's little high, which is not day to day. In advance of machines like MRI, sophisticated advanced MRI machines and all that, which is all very good and important. But again, that's not what day to day 90% of the population interact in healthcare with. So I wanted to bring that to a basic level, which is a primary care, and how we can use these advanced tools, these advanced, artificial intelligence and machine learning tools to create a system which again becomes engaging, but at the same time, when I said sophisticated, at the back end means it is also giving that intelligence to the system to mimic a virtual doctor. And the reason is that because, as we've seen again, bringing back to the present or a very current past that happened in the pandemic, we saw the system was overwhelmed. And the reason behind is we have X number of doctors, and then they have X number of hours in a day, but there are so many people that need them. And you can't meet that ratio is because of the physical limitation. Whereas with the tools like this, artificial intelligence can be used, they can mimic the doctor and they can take a lot of burden from the system, a lot of burden from the doctor and from the patient, and augment them and make it more efficient. And that is the reason why we, incorporated these tools. And I really went to the very, very basic of artificial intelligence, learn those terms. And again, I'm not coding them, but I definitely understand how they can be implemented in order to make it an efficient solution for a medical purpose. And so it's just been a very interesting journey how I learned about all these fancy words, which doesn't come out of doctors' mouth, about deep learning and all that.
So you've given us a little bit about the history of the product, a little bit of an overview on the product itself. Let's go further into MediPocket overall, like your vision, where you're at overall with the company, and and expansion. Are you taking it to other countries? Give us some more of the MediPocket side of things.
Sure. So the mission of the company is, in a brief, is to help individuals take control of their health. And we are doing that by creating a microcare ecosystem that will help make the prescriptions affordable, the treatment manageable, and health information, health records accessible and shareable on demand. So combining these two verticals, we are creating that microcare ecosystem. And what we are doing currently is we are addressing the first vertical of it, which is the affordability part. So we are helping through our platform people to look for the medication, specifically prescription, compare, so bringing the transparency to the system where they can in advance know the cost of the prescription. They can compare it from pharmacy to pharmacy, and in case if they don't have the insurance, or they are underinsured, or if the insurance, they have a good insurance, but they are not covering that particular medication, being a brand medication or being an OTC medication, in that case, the MediPocket discount card comes in. We have partnered with 75,000 pharmacies across nations, naming all the major chains, CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, and the patient can simply use the discount card at any these locations in U.S., Hawaii, and Puerto Rico, and they can do the savings on demand. The good part about it, there's no authorization needed, there's no activation required, and this card never expires. So one card can be used by all family members, and I always say icing on the cake is that this card can also be used for your pet medications because they don't come cheap either. So that is where we are bringing the affordability part to the platform and to the microcare ecosystem. Also, we have a doctor AI by your side, which is where this artificial intelligence, which the purpose of that is it helps to give the analytics, or I would say in the layman term, insight about your health. With the information that we have on the file, what the system gives you insight about your health, what could be done, what could be the things or alert you about your health, what things to be noted, to be taken care now, or what things could be done to improve or delay the things that could happen because of your family history. It gives you that insight, and then it also gives you the recommendations on what to do about that. If it's something like a chronic condition, it gives you recommendations on a regular basis. If it's something that the system is seeing on an acute basis, then also it gives you recommendations. And more of the recommendations are like screening process. It never gives you a diagnosis because, again, it is mimicking a doctor. It's not a doctor. So it won't give you a diagnosis, but it always gives you a recommendation that what your next step should be. Should you be running to urgent care, or it is something that you can solve with a teleconsultation, or is it something you can wait until your regular doctor appointment? So it gives the people a peace of mind. And to add to that, very important is why this is because in most cases, when you don't have a non-acute conditions, the platform that most of the people go is Google or search engines like that. And they try to look for their symptoms and self-diagnose themselves through the system, which is very dangerous because you would agree, or maybe if you have, with your experience, you have seen the Google or the search engines like this would only give you 3 diagnoses. If it's a heart condition, then you have a heart attack, or you have a cancer, or you're dying tomorrow. Again, because the system is not medically designed. It's based on the simple algorithms, not medical algorithms. So those are the places you should not be going to assess your symptoms. So that's where the MediPocket comes in, and the platform is medically designed. If you have symptoms like that, you can go there. The system is going to evaluate it based on what you are telling and based on what information we have. Combining these together, algorithms create those connections and give you the recommendations that are more personalized rather than generalized.
That's awesome. Well, Priyanka, I have to say it has been a pleasure having you on the show today. And if somebody is listening to this or watching this and they want to learn more and just connect with the brand overall, I mean, what's the best way for them to do that?
They can always reach us through our website, which is MediPocket.com. They can look about the company, our mission, and they can connect through that. We answer all our queries within 48 hours. And also they can download the app. We are on iOS and the Android stores, MediPocket. Make sure you download the patient app, not the pharmacy and the driver, but that is invite only. So on the stores to download MediPocket patient app. Also, I love to get connected with people from various backgrounds on LinkedIn, which is my best connection platform. So they can find me on LinkedIn at Priyanka Mathur, MD. Also, they can find MediPocket on LinkedIn.
Fantastic. Well, Priyanka, again, it's been a pleasure having you on the show today. Thank you for coming on. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. We definitely want you to be a return visitor or listener. And Priyanka, thanks again for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much.